Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Sean with Solis Review. Today we're going to be going over the PCS Lord of Darkness from the 80s Tom Cruise fantasy movie. Tim Curry, from fame as Pennywise, played the Lord of Darkness. Probably one of my favorite devil costumes like ever. I think it's one of the best in cinema history for sure. The movie's okay. Tim Curry's awesome, and the character was really cool too. Movie's decent. Little background. I told you what movie it's from. Lord of Darkness is not like the devil from the Bible kind of a thing, but he's the devil of this world. It sounds like he exists in the darkness before creation, kind of a thing. His goal is to bring darkness again, by any means necessary. And the way he does it is by having his little goblin people cut off the horn of a unicorn and uses it as like a wand. And if he can get Mia Sarah to marry him or have a baby or something with him in an eclipse or something like that, then that's it, eternal darkness, and he can leave his lair cave thing, because when it's dark he can't be hurt. Apparently sunlight's the only thing that kills him, so that's how he dies in the end, is sunlight. But it's a cool costume design for sure, at least. I enjoy what Tim Curry brought to the role too. He's definitely a big on the list of character actors in Creature kind of a thing. So love his work. As far as concept, it feels exactly like out of the movie. That's one of the reasons I got it. I mean, I've always loved Lord of Darkness, but or Darkness as some people call him, but this is the only 1/3 scale I'm aware of. There are quarter scale from Sideshow, there is life-size bus, but this is the only quarter scale that I'm aware of, and I think that they did phenomenal. It was my first PCS statue. It is from the earlier PCS days when they had issues. This one took forever, if I understand correctly, from the delays. It was years and years and years. So really glad that I was able to find a deal for this. Super cool. Let's go off of, since we finished concept, let's go engineering. It's simplistic for sure. The base is decently heavy. Darkness is moderately heavy. The cane is very light. It's interesting that it's loose and that you actually put it through his hand. You don't normally see things like that. You can even, you can move the staff. The body is all one piece. Then there's the base, then there's the horns, then there's the staff. The horns are strong magnets in. Everything was really good with that. Engineering on the jewelry, it looks beautiful, but I have had a bead fall off of it. It's got these gem-like beads that it fell off. I hot glued it back on. So it was out in shipping. So I'm assuming that's probably a common thing. It is a mixed media. I think they did a great job with the cape. It looks good. It's magnet held on in several locations. All in all, very simplistic but good design as far as the engineering. It comes in 2 boxes. It's 38 inches tall. Let's go with paint next. Paint, really like the paint on it. The base has these dark wood, brass kind of reliefs in it, very similar to what you saw in the layer in the movie. It could be directly from it. It's got these leaves that are very reminiscent of like Garden of Eden kind of or early jungle thing. A lot of depth to the paint on the base. It's not in any way one-dimensional. On the staff, it's different than the base, but it is similarly like a wood. There's tones of blue in the wood, so it's definitely not one-dimensional either. It has age. It feels old for sure. On Darkness's body, where you see paint, like on the hooves, looks good. It looks like a black horse hoof. Moving up, it's mixed media until you get to his belt. They did a great job on the painting of like a golden sash belt kind of a thing. It looks like something ornamental you would wear. They added jewels that are like little red ruby marbles. They look good. They've got depth to them. You can see there's lots of little hanging ropes here that are mixed media too. They look great. They're not the same. There's a lot of variance here. It makes it brings a lot of realism. On the hair that's covering his legs, it looks like they used some sort of a faux hair. It looks good to me. It looks, if you're looking at it in a hard light, it looks faux hair, but whenever I have it on my shelf, I never ever think that. It's got real pleather pieces that are like actually like woven together with these little brass looking kind of sewing rings. They look cool. For the skin on Darkness, it is red. It's an incredible ruby red, but it's definitely not one-dimensional. There's lighter, there's darker, there's shading. I especially like how you can see shading even on his spine in between ripples of muscle. It's really cool. The horns, they look like horn material. They're not super shiny. They're not crazy dull. They've got texture, kind of like a ring system there. They look great. His fingernails are long and menacing looking, and I'm really actually surprised they could pull that off because they look very breakable. The portrait, so good. It looks like it's right out of the movie. Whoever got the sculpt got it fantastic. The face application, the dentures, I believe I read, are like, if I remember right, they're actually like the same material that they used in real dental applications for people in real life. And the eyes, so much realism to them. Very clean, very clear yellow. It looks really good. I mean, it looks like the movie to me. I'm pretty amazed with it. It's very impressive. Some of the best PCS work I've ever seen. I think that's it for paint application. For sculpt, looking at the base, very simple, kind of a pedestal-y base. Like I said, it's got the shapes of these huge leaves from possibly the Garden of Eden. You can't really see a sculpt on the legs. The hooves look like hooves. I wouldn't change anything. There's a minor amount of sculpted hair at the bottom where the transition between the hooves would be. The belts look like these really ornate, ornamental pieces. No complaints at all about that. The unicorn horn is sculpted in. You can't remove that or anything. I think, looks good for a transition of material going over it. It looks just like it did in the movie to me. Sculpt on his abdomen. I've heard some controversy where people thought his ribs looked a little weird. If I remember right, looking at the pictures from the movie, it was slightly different, but this I think was a pretty good interpretation for a gigantic person that, it's all application. Tim Curry wasn't really that buff or anything like that. They are interesting, very non-human abs, but I think it works because he's not human. Just me. I don't have a problem with it. I know some people have, though. Muscularity for the rest of the body looks really cool. The back is incredibly muscular, but it looks, I believe, if I remember right, just like from the movie when you could see his back. It was just, rippling bull muscles kind of a thing on his back. Sculpt on the head looks like directly out of the movie, so super impressed. Nothing I would change about the sculpt, really. Nothing I would change really about the paint. It is really difficult to get good photos of, but it's not shiny, but it definitely picks up a lot of light. That's it. If you're a fan of Lord of Darkness or Legend or Tim Curry, this is a solid piece to pick up. I got it for below retail. Super happy I got it when I did. I don't really see this up a lot, so if you get your hands on a deal and you're a fan, I don't think you're going to regret it. Overall, one of my most favorite pieces, and it used to be my biggest piece until Prime 1 gets 1/3 game. That is huge. Okay, so all in all, fantastic piece. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. Love talking to you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. This is Sean with Solis Review. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.